everybody. Wait for a few minutes for people to pop on. Hey guys, it is Monday. Hey, good to see you. Hey guys, I'll give people on a little bit longer to catch on. I hope everybody is, hey Coleman, I hope everybody is hanging in there today. Can't say it's business as usual, but certainly some of us still have to conduct business. Hey Carolyn, but it has been a heavy day. I hope everybody's family and friends are safe in Vegas. Unfortunately, I know for everybody that's not true. I've checked on as many people as I can possibly check on. Hey Demetrius. And so it's good to know that most people, hey Mark, how are you? Thanks for popping on. Good morning. And most people, I've been able to get in touch with, everybody is okay. But like I said, I know that's not the case for everybody. So certainly prayers continue for those directly affected by what happened in Vegas. Of course, we're all indirectly affected. And unfortunately, hey, thank you. hey, Bentley Evans. How are you? It's good to see you. I was just talking about you the other day. To somebody in LA that mentioned your name, and so I was telling them what a big fan of yours I am. So it's good to see you. I hope you're well. Hey Andrew. So how you doing? How's your sister? Tell Stacy I said hey. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about book marketing plans. I do a lot of consulting on putting marketing plans together, not just for books, but for business. Hey Jerome. I'm glad that you guys are good. And so I do this extensive book marketing and media plan, and it's a big thing. But a lot of people that I find, they get to the point where the book is ready to be released, and then they want to think about marketing the book. Hey, Michelle. And so I wanted to just cover 5 quick points that you must make sure that you cover when you're marketing. And I actually put a link in the post comment if you're interested in getting a planner. I have a plan your book guide, and it's kind of like a planner when you're planning your book and some things you should think of in addition to writing the book. And that is bit.ly/planmybook. I'm good. Thank you, Lolo. How are you? Thank you for all the smiley faces. I appreciate it. Hey, Anthony. And so the first point is to really kind of ask yourself, like, why are you writing the book? Why are you publishing the book? Like, what is the point of the book? A lot of us write, books that could be considered similar, especially if it's nonfiction and around like our expertise. So you have to kind of figure out like what is making your book stand out from the rest? Like what makes your book different? Does it do something better than existing books? Does it solve a certain problem? If it is fiction, what makes it unique? What are some of like the angles that makes it stand out? Like why would people be interested? I mean, why does this book need to exist? And that sounds kind of dramatic, but really that's kind of the foundation for your marketing plan. Like why does this book need to be in existence? Hey, Will. Will is making a run. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Ashley. I had an accelerated session with Will on Sunday. Will is releasing a book called The Wicker Diary. And so we went through my marketing and media plan for him to put it together. His book releases next week. So it was kind of last minute, but I think we got some stuff together and I think he's going to do okay. So I'll tell you more about The Wicker Diary. I'm actually going to interview Will on Facebook tomorrow because I'm fascinated by the book and I think you'll find it very interesting. So thank you for that, Will. I appreciate, you signing off on my skills. And I will talk to you later. I hope you're good, Ashley. So anyway, back to the first point. I know it sounds kind of dramatic, but it's really true. You have to figure out why this book is in existence. And even like I said, if it's a fiction, if it's supposed to entertain, that's fine. But that's great. That's awesome. Thanks, Will. But you have to figure out what makes the book unique. Like what is the angle? Why should people care? So that's like the first point. Why are you writing this book? Why are you publishing? Hard work always pays more, Anthony. I absolutely agree with you. But I also agree that smart work pays. Sometimes we just work hard, but we don't have, a plan. And so I'm all for working smarter, not necessarily harder, but you definitely have to put in the work. The second one is you have to think about who is this book for? Like who is going to buy this book? who is going to read this book, what kind of readers is the book going to attract, because then you really, that should be the voice of all your marketing. So if it's for African American females, that's certainly a different voice than teenage white males. Or if it's supposed to be for children, that's certainly a different voice than, you know, an 85-year-old Hispanic woman. So you kind of have to put a face to what your ideal reader, who your ideal reader is, so that you can market in that voice. And that's not to say that nobody outside of that demographic will buy. If it's a good book, people are going to buy it regardless. But you have to always keep your ideal client in mind, so that your ideal client can say, oh gosh, that book is for me. You know, they wrote this book just for me. That's what you always want. And so you have to be very careful that you know who your ideal client is, and that whenever you tweet, whenever you post on Facebook, whenever you write a blog, that you are speaking to that ideal reader. And even for my clients, I mean, when we do audience member profiles or client profiles, when we're trying to nail down who, you know, the ideal reader is, or who your ideal client is, we actually look for pictures. Like, we look for a picture in a magazine and we write down the qualities. Like, is this upper middle class? Is this wealthy? Is this maybe economically challenged? Is this person, you know, 15 to 18? Are they 45 to 54? Like, who is your ideal client, so that you can always keep that in mind when you write. So Rick wants to know, is it a good idea to write about like your like a memoir, like write your personal journey? I think so. I think if you have a story to tell. I think the key to that, though, is, like, you know, like I said, I mean, you want to make sure that there's a message to the book. I mean, I think everybody has a story, but you want to make sure you frame it in such a way that it's going to, you know, benefit the audience. If that's your goal, is to sell a book. If you just want to write a book for you, then go for it. But if your goal is like to sell a book and, you know, and really appeal to a large group of people, then you have to make sure that there's a point behind the book. Yeah, or an autobiography, memoir or autobiography. It just depends on what you want to call it. Hey, Elmarie Kendall, how are you? I haven't seen you on here in a while, so it's good to see you. The third thing is, then once you know who your ideal reader is, like, where is this reader and how can you get to the reader? So I tell people a lot about social media. You know, we have our favorite platforms. Like, I really love Twitter, but most of my clients are on Facebook. So I have to show up on Facebook too, because that's where they are. So you just have to be very careful that, one, you know, why are you publishing the book? Who is the book for? And then where are they? So that you can make sure you market to them. You know, are they on your email list? Are they on your social media platforms? What markets are they in? You know, would you be better to buy a Facebook ad, or should you be on YouTube? I mean, there's so many questions. And unfortunately, we can't possibly be everywhere all the time. So it really makes much more sense to figure out where your readers are and how can you reach them. If you're targeting a younger audience, you know, maybe Snapchat is for you. But if you're, you know, I had a client once and she was writing her life story, and, you know, she was like 68. She was like, well, I'm going to get on Snapchat. And I was like, well, I don't think Snapchat's quite where you need to be right now to sell this book. And so you don't market to everybody, Dallas. That's the point. You don't market to everybody. People are under the, and this is with anything when you're marketing, people are under the assumption that you can make things so broad and so general that you can include everybody in your marketing, and that's an effective way to market. And it's not, because if people can't identify themselves in your marketing, chances are they're not going to buy it. So, like I said, the good part, come on, 68 on set. It was funny to me, but she was serious. The good part about, like, when you do quality marketing is you absolutely reach your ideal client, but then other people are intrigued as well, so they're going to purchase. So I'm not saying that you won't get some spillover. Hey, Ghana, thanks for watching. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I appreciate you hanging on. So it's not like you won't get spillover, but you have to speak to your target audience. I'm talking about, hey, Trey, I'm talking about a 5-point marketing plan. We're on the 3rd point. And that's where to find your reader and how to market to your reader. So you absolutely want to, marketing and sales are not the same thing. They kind of flow together. Like, marketing is how you get the word out. Sales is when somebody actually purchases. So marketing is a part of sales, like advertising is a part of sales, media, it all is a kind of a part of it, but marketing is the first part. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, Dallas, nope. Okay, so I think my phone is gonna die, y'all. Okay, so the fourth part is how can you put this in front of them in a compelling way? And so part of what I like to do with marketing is I like to do it in different ways so that, you know, because people learn and absorb information differently. So like some people are auditory, which means they can hear it and understand it and accept it. Some people are visual and they have to see it, and some people can read it, and you know, and that's great. So I like to do things in different ways, and that's why there's so many different platforms. Like there's YouTube for video. You can do video on Facebook and Twitter now. Hey, A. Richards. You can do video on YouTube, which is awesome. You know, some people like just the visuals, so Instagram and Pinterest. Some people like to see it written, so you know, writing a blog is good. And often when I do, hey Jonathan, how are you? Often when I do a blog, like I'll do different kinds. Like I'll do a quick video blog, I'll do a written blog, and now there's, you know, and you can do podcasting, which is just audio. And so you just have to pick different ways and mix it up so you're not always, you know, marketing exactly the same way, because you want to reach people that learn and absorb information differently. So that's it too. What kind of incentives work well with your audience? Do they like challenges? Do they like contests? Do they like free giveaways? What do you think really is going to work with your audience? Hey, Vernester. And sometimes that also depends on, like, you know, who they are. Like if they're a certain age, you know, if they're young, you know, what they're into. So you just kind of have to do, you know, see what works well with them. Is there something you can do that maybe somebody in your arena hasn't done yet? Could you be like the cutting edge of something? You can think about that too. Hey, Altaweez, how are you? And then who can help? And I think we discount this a lot. So we don't reach out to other networks. We don't reach out to people that we're directly connected to. You know, we're like these solo marketing machines, and we don't think about who we're connected to that can also help spread the word for the book. And so I often suggest to clients that they like launch this, you know, like a launch team, that they form a launch team, and they ask friends and families and other influencers. You really want to kind of reach people that have an audience. A moving company. I don't know. Let me think about that for a minute. They want to know the best marketing advice for a moving company. So you really have to reach out and ask people to help you. The sound is so much better on Facebook. Okay, well, thank you for that. Rick, I'm looking to write a book but don't know where to start. I would start with well, I don't know if you have an idea. If you already have an idea for your book, I would start with creating an outline. I think a lot of people skip that step and they just start writing, and it's a lot harder to write a book if you don't have an outline. So I would suggest with, like, you know, just creating a simple outline. You know, yeah, Dallas is right. Dallas, like, the two things you want to say if you're a mover, that you're going to be on time and there's not going to be any damage. That's exactly right, Dallas. And so you want to make sure you start with an outline. So when you're about to release the book, think of, you know, some things and some people that can help you get the word out. Like I said, I always suggest people create like a launch team of people that have other networks that you can reach out to. You can create what you call book ambassadors, and those are people that are like your super fans that, you know, support whatever you do, and they'll definitely spread the word about this book. But you want to, and then you want to develop your email list. So I'm often surprised at the, you know, people who haven't started developing their list. If you're an entrepreneur, a speaker, an event planner, if you want to do workshops, if you want to release a book, a song, whatever, you should have an email list, and you should, and I might do a training on that, because it's not that difficult, but you just have to be consistent. But you definitely should do it. I mean, they always say the money is in the list. It's the truth. Like, I would rather have, if I had to lose every other marketing tool that I had, the one thing I would definitely keep is my email list, even over social media and some other things. And y'all know I love social media. So, so you definitely want to start your list. So just to recap, this is like bare bones 5-point marketing book plan. But if you don't have one, you absolutely should. Like I said, I have a really long, in-depth one, but this is just 5 points that you definitely should cover. And the first one is why, like, why are you publishing this book? And you should be able to articulate that very clearly. 2, who is going to buy the book and who's going to read the book. You should know your ideal reader, ideal audience. Oh, thank you, Jed. I talk well. 3, where can you find those readers? You want to be where they are. You don't want to just market to people who don't care anything about this book. You want to be where they are. And how can you put this in front of them in a compelling way? So how are you going to put the information together, give it to them in a way that they're going to be excited about it? And then who can help? Who can help you spread the word? Do you have an email list? Who are you connected to? Ideally, you want to find people that also have an audience, also have a platform so that they can encourage others to buy. And that's it. And you focus on that and you get it done. Ideal timeline. Somebody asked me the ideal timeline for launching a book. I always like 6 months before the book is supposed to be published. And that's because your platform as an author is just as important as the book. And Dallas is giving. Dallas said smooth move. Y'all are really going to help this moving company. That's funny. Because your platform as an author is just as important as the book. I mean, the book doesn't even matter. Well, the book matters. But, I mean, you can have the best book in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then, you know, I would say, what's the point? You may not say that, but I'll say, what's the point? So you want to make sure that you develop your author platform. So I've been talking a lot about that. But if you want a book planner, if you're thinking about writing a book or you're thinking about writing another book, I did put together a planner that kind of helps you think it out and map it and put together all the important pieces. And so that is bit.ly/planmybook. bit.ly/planmybook. I love giving out free stuff. I think that most of us, you know, when we have the right tools, we can do whatever we want to do. And so I try to give as much away as possible to help out. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys go work on your marketing plan. And like I said, I'm going to, tomorrow, I think, no, not tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to talk to Will about his book, The Wicker Diary, because it's just a fascinating story. And his is like a memoir. Well, not a memoir. His is based on actual events, but it's his grandmother's memories, and it's just fascinating. So, anywho, have a good day. I will talk. Dallas, you're funny. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.